I've just come from another case that I was solving. It was actually a kidnapping, would you believe?
Oh, crazy.
Yeah, but fortunately he woke up, so we're all good. What's the mystery today, fella?
Well, we've got a good one for you. This is the case of Chris Jenkins. He disappeared on Halloween night 2002, and the case is unsolved.
So today we're looking into the case of Chris Jenkins.
The morning of November 1st was a waking nightmare for the Jenkins family.
Throughout Chris's life, friends and family knew him to be outgoing, happy, adventurous, and popular, but he was far from typical.
Many believe 21-year-old Chris Jenkins, a senior at the University of Minnesota, encountered the very worst humanity had to offer on Halloween night in 2002. For years, police believed Chris's death was an accident, or even that he took his own life. But his family relentlessly pursued the truth, believing he was not only murdered, but that Chris was possibly one of many victims in a string of killings known as the Smiley Face Murders.
When we get to the end of this case, we've got thoughts on it. We've got things.
We're going to need everybody who's listening and watching today to come together to solve this case.
Looking online, there's not that much going around on it, and we could definitely do with some theories down below. And there's just a lot of information that we feel like should be available. So without blue balling you guys, let's get into this mystery. Chris Jenkins, 21 years old, right?
Young.
A young buck.
Yep.
A young buck. How old were you in 2002?
I was 8 years old, man. I was playing Toy Story, little Woody and Buzz. I used to make them kiss.
21 years old, a student at the University of Minnesota in Minneapolis.
Okay.
All right, a little tongue twister for you there.
Yeah.
He studied business. He did a business degree there. And he was an honor student. And for the British people watching this, an honor student simply means someone that is doing very well at the university. And he usually, correct me if I'm wrong here in the comments, but you usually have like a GPA of a certain score or higher to then become an honor student. And believe this or not, Chip, I once got honors, right, in my school.
For what?
Okay, no, I got honors. My grades were high enough to the point where I got honors, and I went home. I told my mom, I said, "Mom, you never guess what? This semester, I'm an honors student, and I got anything I asked for, mate."
Really?
Yeah, she was there like, okay, you can go get yourself a game, you can go get yourself whatever you want, bro. It was huge. So, this guy, he's a smart cookie. Not only that, but he's athletic. He's a 2-time captain of his lacrosse team, okay?
Oh, yeah, so he's a bit of a...
Prospects were looking good for this man because not only that,
nice.
but he had interviews, things like that for jobs, lined up for when he had finished his university, once he finished his degree. Now, on Halloween, okay, he decided to go on a night out with his girlfriend.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Couple bevs, enjoy yourself.
Dress up.
Yeah.
And he did. He dressed up. He got himself in a costume. And we've got a little photo of what he looked like on a night out.
I'm not sure what he's dressed as there.
And it doesn't say anywhere. We did look. I mean, looking at the photo, Jim, what are...
I was thinking maybe like the bark of a tree.
I don't think he's the bark of a tree, mate. He looks like he was a hit with the ladies.
Yeah.
He had a girlfriend. Her name was Ashley.
So Chris and his girlfriend Ashley went to a bar that's called a Lone Tree Bar and Grill. Ashley actually worked there as a bartender.
Okay. So his girlfriend serving up drinks there.
Yeah, she's serving up drinks. Anyway, he goes to this bar. He actually spills a drink down him, and he gets kicked out of the bar sometime after like midnight by a off-duty police officer called Mike Casey. Now, he was working security there that night.
So in his off time, what he does is he works as a bouncer at this Lone Tree Bar.
Yeah, and he's kicked him out anyway. And Mike has told the bouncers not to let him back in.
Yeah, so I mean, that's pretty normal. Once you kick someone out, whether he's too drunk, whatever it is, you usually say, yeah, look, to the rest of them, don't let the guy back in. Yeah. He's drunk and maybe he's a bit disorderly. Like, yeah, he spilled a drink down him, but you don't get kicked out for that. So there's no reports here that
and
actually
you don't
says
get
why.
back in. You don't ever get. If you get kicked out for being drunk, it's done. The night is over.
You know when they tell you, they go, oh yeah, mate, come back, you sober up, come back in 10, 15 minutes and we'll let you in. They're capping, they never let you back in.
Never. They're just hoping you just go home. However, there is a show called Breaking Homicide call it a crime show, no fellas mysteries, where another bouncer actually says that Chris left on his own accord, like he didn't get kicked out, but he did leave without his phone, jacket, and wallet, which just
you take those things with you.
And where are his phone, jacket, and wallet?
I mean, if they're in the bar, then, I mean, if you're storming out, okay, so let's say you're just voluntarily leaving, you wouldn't leave your jacket. By the way, it's -6 degrees out there. It's Baltic. It's so cold, right? So you definitely take in your jacket, your wallet and your keys. If you're smashed, then I can understand maybe leaving them behind. You can be forgetful.
Yeah, maybe someone else has them.
Yeah.
Why would he not have his phone and wallet on him?
Yeah.
Keys and stuff. Like, why would you not have that in your pockets?
Especially if you're getting kicked out and you're just getting dragged out and kicked out, then I can understand why everything's left in there, right?
Got it. The outfit probably doesn't have pockets on it. That Halloween outfit. So he's probably left all the stuff in his jacket, put the jacket in the cloakroom.
Or left it there and he's not gonna get it. Earlier that night, Chris was introduced to Mike, the off-duty police officer, working as the bouncer that night, by Ashley, Chris's girlfriend, because obviously Ashley works there.
Yeah.
So they knew each other that way. So yeah, he introduced him, said hello, all the nice pleasantries, shall we say. And it is actually important to note that Mike had given Ashley his shirt to wear as part of their Halloween costume.
Like his police officer shirt?
Yeah, well, whatever she was wearing on the night,
yeah,
she had actually gotten off of Mike. So this isn't just like he's just a co-worker type thing.
She knows him enough to ask, oh, can I borrow your police?
Yeah, can I borrow your stuff?
Yeah.
Another report says that when Chris got kicked out, Mike, the bouncer, just started cracking on with Ashley, Chris's girlfriend. I mean, he just starts flirting with her. Inside there.
Stuff. So Mike's kicked Chris out.
Yeah.
You know, apparently it was Mike. And then he's gone, right, now I'm going to crack on with his missus.
Yeah. So there's definitely some eyebrows, you know, was he maybe a bit jealous of the boyfriend? Got the problem out of the way and then said, right, now I can just...
Yeah, now I've got free
reign.
stretch, I can go.
You do have to ask though, why do you think Ashley didn't leave with Chris when he got kicked out? That's his girlfriend. If I was going out, I'd expect my girlfriend to leave with me. It's -6 degrees. I've not got my jacket. I've not got anything with me.
Huh. Is it possible she didn't know? No, but you would know. But he did leave without his phone and stuff, so maybe she wasn't aware, and because he hasn't texted her, obviously, because he's not got his phone. Maybe the club
Did they have an argument?
Maybe, yeah. The club is big enough to the point where she might just think he's over there somewhere.
Went to the toilet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I understand. Look, it was freezing. Okay, it was -6 degrees. You ever been in -6 degrees?
I don't actually know if I have, but I can imagine I would not really.
I lived in Russia. -6 degrees, freezing. All right, it's not nice, and it's certainly not something you'd be walking around in without any jacket.
Yeah,
that's
dressed
for
up
sure.
as tree bark. That's not ideal.
And that was the last anybody had heard of Chris.
Ooh.
Right?
Gone.
Woke up the next morning. Chris is not home. The family call up the police, and they say, "Where's our child, our son, Chris? Where is he? We don't know." And this is where the investigation begins.
The family actually thought the police were being completely unhelpful. Well, to the point where they thought they needed to go and create their own search party. So they were talking family, friends, rival lacrosse teams, colleagues.
As you do, that's nice of them.
And then, of course, they've even gone and got a private investigator, Chuck Leash. Chuck Leash goes to the Federal Reserve Bank, okay, which was just in front of the Haplin Avenue Bridge, which is claimed that Chris had walked down. So he goes.
The police claim that.
The police claim that. Police claim that he'd gone down Haplin Avenue Bridge. So Chuck goes to the bank. He checks the CCTV footage there, and there's no sign of him. And the people that are working at the bank say there is no way that he could have gone down that bridge because there is no blind spot in the cameras. Right. If he went down that way, he would have been seen. Chuck Leash, the investigator, he dug deeper.
We like that.
He went in. So he actually questioned the staff at the Lone Tree Bar and Grill, and they said that Chris left of his own accord. So he didn't get kicked out. Yeah. And then the actual owners of the bar went and got an attorney and got a gag order on their own staff. Strange, that.
I mean,
why would you do that?
Why would you do that? Why would you want nobody talking about it? Okay, maybe like more for like a PR thing, but ultimately there's a guy's life at risk here. Surely you would want to do absolutely anything and tell your employees, please work with the with the police to try and help find this kid, unless there was something that was maybe hiding that you didn't like that would actually come out and ruin the reputation of the bar.
Something happened inside the bar and it makes it look like it led to his death.
Did the security guard, did the owner of the place know that the security guards did something else and then ultimately just could mean the closure of the lone bar?
Not good for the Google reviews.
Definitely
I would actually like to go on the Google reviews of this place and see
what they're saying. There are some witnesses out there that did claim that on that night they actually saw 10 people beating up one person at a place near Times Square, Subs and Pubs. It's got a good ring to it, that. Subs and Pubs.
What does that mean, Subs and Pubs? Is that what it's
like Subway, like sandwiches?
I thought it was thinking Subway, like train subs.
Subs and Pubs, I don't actually know. Anyways, look, they claimed that they did see that, but they couldn't tell whether that was Chris or not that was getting beaten up. So yeah, it's just a little tidbit. Whether it actually means anything, I don't know. The family, obviously determined to get as much information as possible, actually took it a step further and then ended up hiring canine dogs.
Ooh.
All right, so yeah, this is a serious operation going on.
It's a bit of money though.
Now these are extremely highly qualified, trained dogs, right? And they're there to sniff out bodies, scents, all sorts of things, okay? And what they did was they had one particular dog for the 7th of November, okay? So, just about a week after everything had gone down. And they managed to trace Chris's scent all the way to Times Square, Subs and Pubs. Ooh. The bit where people said, look, they was looking like someone was being attacked. But
kind of adds up a little bit, no?
Yeah, and specifically, it was down to a parking space, number 89 and 90. At this parking space, they found feathers, blood, and red string.
Ooh.
Okay, now, I'm not gonna lie, but the feathers particularly, maybe the red string, were all featured on his costume, potentially.
I mean, if you look at the costume, it's like, there is potential there.
I don't know. Anyways, look. People are saying that they reckon that could have belonged to his costume.
Okay.
But, again, the police just disregarded this information.
Dodgy business.
It's like the police don't want this to be solved.
Parking spots, number 89 and 90, when they had a look and saw who occupied those spaces on that night, it was in fact one of the bouncers from the Lone Tree Bar and Grill. Bit strange. Has a bouncer taken him to that spot and something's gone down?
Did they beat him up
Beat
there?
him up, put him in a car, anything. Pretty crazy if you ask me.
Now, instantly you would think, right, okay, let's interview Mike Casey, all right? Because obviously he is maybe, I don't want to say the common denominator, but he seems to have a few links here. Let's at least question him, ask him a few questions, see what he knows. No. They didn't want to do that because, let me quote what the police actually said as to why they didn't want to question him.
Okay.
Here you go. They said that he's a married man with children. We didn't want to break up a family.
Ooh. Why would that break up a family just by questioning it?
I'm sorry, but just simply questioning someone shouldn't do that.
And that is the employees of the same department that Mike
the
Casey
police
works
department.
in.
Yeah, the police department. So why would you not just ask him a few questions? No one's family's getting hurt. We're just trying to find a lad that's gone missing.
It's a very suggestive comment. Like it sounds like it would break up the family if they just questioned him.
It's almost as if, maybe Chris had found out something
between Mike and Ashley.
Ooh. And by questioning him, they might have found out that maybe Mike wasn't that loyal to his family.
It is very possible.
I mean, that's a really weird thing to say. Like, surely they've just baited him out by saying, we don't want to break up a family. Surely the family's going, wait, why would you break us up?
Yeah,
you can ask Mike questions, and Mike's going, don't ask me questions.
Not looking good right now. 27th of February, 2003, 4 months after the actual whole incident, by the way, they have found Chris's body in the river in Horseshoe Dam. Now, his costume is actually still intact, and he's clutching onto some hair. Now, this hair had apparently been contaminated while being sent to get tested. And the police had found no result, and they concluded that it had been placed in his hand post-mortem.
Loads of questions. I've got so many questions. Okay, so they found the body. This has got to be one of the biggest breakthroughs, right? Once you find the body, a lot of the time, the answers come to that. A lot of the time when we look at these unsolved things, one of the biggest things is that they can't find the body. For example, the Australian Outback case that we did, the body was never found. Unsolved. Now that they found the body, fantastic.
Yeah, autopsy report should start coming through with some results, right?
Give us some information, how he died, when he died, all that stuff. Look, there's some hair in hand. How does, they've managed to get that contaminated while it's going off to
How is
get
that
tested?
even, is it a river? Surely the water would wash away some hair in a hand, by the way. It sounds a bit crazy to me.
Unless he was put in there recently.
That's possible.
You have to think, surely his body would be severely decomposed, right? We're talking about the middle of winter here.
Yep.
Yeah. At one point, that dam is completely frozen. Okay.
Yes.
It's frozen over. So
and it had only just recently become, unfrozen.
His costume's intact. I'm sorry, but the water is messing up. The costume is not going to be intact if your body is in a freezing lake
For
4 months.
Yeah. The police actually did come to the conclusion, their own conclusion, that he jumped and possibly by accident, and the medical examiner didn't find any evidence of foul play. So it looks like there's no sign that he got beaten up or,
So they're claiming he jumped from the bridge.
Yeah, and it was an accident. So he's just accidentally got whoop.
But what I don't understand is that we've already talked about this bridge, is the fact that he would have had to have crossed in front of that CCTV, and there's no blind spots, remember?
So on that night, yes, he couldn't have done it because there was no blind spots. The people at the bank, the CCTV from the bank, it would have shown him walking across that bridge, and it didn't, which means it must have surely been another night.
Either another night, or he didn't jump off the bridge and he ended up.
Maybe he was placed in the river from a different place.
Yeah, I mean, look, they ended up ruling this case as a suicide.
Dodgy.
This whole thing reeks of some form of corruption.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
Dodgy.
This poor family are spending money out of their arse, right? And loads of time just to get some answers. And the police just seem to be doing their bare minimum, and not even the bare minimum.
Yep, 100%. The family actually did get the police to reopen the case in 2006 when a new police chief, took over.
Okay.
He reopened it as a homicide and did a press conference where he actually apologized to the whole family.
Yeah.
I'll read it out here for you. "We made an assumption," said the police chief, "and because of that assumption, we probably caused pain. Well, I know we caused pain in the Jenkins family. More pain than they had to suffer and than they already suffered. And for that, the Minneapolis Police Department, I want to apologize to the Jenkins family."
After the case was reopened, great news, Chip. An informant has come forward with new information.
We love that.
This new information is that they had seen somebody throw Chris off of the bridge.
Now, that's great that they saw that, but why has it taken 3 years? It's 2006 now. Why has it taken 3 years for them to come forward with that information? If you saw that happen, sure, you just go to the police and be like,
I've just seen someone Hulk throw someone off the bridge. One thing that I want to sort of bring up about this new information that supposedly has come forward and the legitimacy of it, right, is if we take a look at this bridge, I'll put a picture on screen now, is I would say that it would be very difficult unless you are quite literally Eddie Hall or someone of a massive structure to be able to launch a body, right? Because you think, a bridge, you could just throw it over the bridge. Yeah, fine, but this particular bridge, there's a big steel beam that goes out for maybe 5 feet. You would have to be able to pick up a body and it's all dead weight,
you have to
I'd
throw
imagine.
some distance then.
Throw them some distance over. There's also some cables in the way. I just don't believe that someone could have thrown it. Now,
there would be bruises and stuff from when the body hits the water as well. If it's from some height, when a body hits the water from that kind of height,
there'll be some damage.
Yeah, maybe a broken bone or something. It's not just going to be plop.
Yeah, because this the bridge is not 1 or 2 meters above it. This is a serious bridge. You've
bridge.
seen the photo. But yeah, I don't see how that really could have worked unless this guy just has some incredible strength. This is not a small guy, by the way. You know, he's athletic. He plays in the lacrosse team. He's not going to weigh nothing.
In fact, the new police chief actually stated that the chances that it was a homicide were 50%.
Yeah.
30% chance that it was accidental death, and 20% chance suicide. So.
Man, what is it? So, mate, it was just anything.
That's
what he's come out. He's come out and said, to be perfectly honest with you, I ain't got a scoobs. But here, have some percentages.
He's ran the numbers. He's gone back to the team.
That doesn't help anyone. That really doesn't help
really
anyone.
Doesn't.
And particularly the family. You've already apologized. And so for you guys just to go to say, oh, yeah, mate, to be honest, it could be absolutely
But
anything.
I guess he is still leading towards the fact that it was a homicide and Chris was murdered, you know.
They did another toxicology report. So they took a look at his blood, and they found 0.12% alcohol. That was the alcohol level in it, 0.12%. Now, that's actually not that high. That is not like blackout drunk. That isn't, you know, paralytic.
You can still function.
You can
Get
function,
home,
walk. You're not peppered. Like,
Okay.
it's not like you on a Saturday night, okay?
Yeah.
Like, he's not going to do anything absolutely stupid here, is he? To the point where, I'm just going to jump off this bridge. I'm absolutely smashed. I'm just going to jump off this bridge, or I'm going to do something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like he still should be able to get
know
himself
what he's
home
doing.
and
Yeah,
stuff.
get himself home.
Yeah.
All that sort of stuff.
The pathologist found some strange inconsistencies in the autopsy with his death. Now, if he had drowned, you know, your arm should usually be out by your
it's
side,
like
you know.
You're just like drowning naturally.
Kind of just like
I guess.
floating, you know.
Yeah.
You know, you may have seen it in a movie, whatever. But in fact, his arms, they were crossed over his body, whether it was like that or maybe around the waist. Either way, that's still strange, no?
Look, mate, I have a feeling that he hasn't been in that water from Halloween until like months later.
His shirt was actually still like tucked into his drawstring pants. And the clothing, like if you've been in the water for 4 months, you're not coming out looking, you know, fresh out of the washing machine. You are gonna look, clothing's gonna look rough, you know, everything's gonna look messed up. So it's not adding up. All this has led to the pathologist believing that Chris was already dead and rigor mortis had already set in before he'd been placed into the water.
Yeah, which again goes into the thing that I spoke about him died and then they've done something with the body and put him in. Rigor mortis is, to those of you that are interested or don't know, that is essentially what happens is once you die, few hours, your body goes out really stiff.
Yeah, the joints and muscles.
Everything just stiffens up. It's pretty grim, to be honest with you. But yeah, it's so that again obviously goes against this new informant information of someone saying, "Oh, we saw someone launch Chris's body over, you know, into the bridge."
Yeah, it doesn't work.
It doesn't make sense. Another guy came forward actually and spoke about his experience at the Lone Tree Bar and Grill. After a drink, he said that men had tried to put him into a car. And that he was just saved by his friends. He was then rushed to hospital and he found that he had a really high levels of GHB, which is essentially also known as the date rape drug. And yeah, so that was his review, and I'm sure, you know, the Google reviews so far at this place ain't looking too hot right now.
Not at all. I can't wait to have a look.
Yeah, they also did find GHB in Chris's system, but the levels that were found in Chris were claimed to have just been enough to be naturally produced by his own body. So they don't believe that he was actually drugged, which would have been similar to this guy's case.
Okay.
About being spiked in the place.
Also, the area that, you know, Chris's body was actually found had been combed over for weeks after he disappeared. So obviously the police, you know, there's been search teams, parties, maybe they had a diving team. Either way, they've been looking in this spot and nothing was found, which tying in more to the idea of he was placed there at a later day. Hydrologist actually said as well that his body could not have been in the water for 4 months and not been spotted. So we got some professionals in here saying this is cap.
It's not just the fellas calling cap on it.
Yeah.
It's we got them legit ists. You know when your job title ends in an ist, you know it's
hydrologist.
serious.
Yeah, you went to a nice college.
4 months after that time that he went missing, right? I think what's happened is my theory, okay?
Okay.
Full from top to bottom, this is my theory. Okay, is the bouncers got into a bit of something with him. They've maybe chucked him in a car. He's died somewhere elsewhere. His body has been put somewhere, and maybe something's happening to the area where the body is right now. They feel like, oh crap, someone's gonna find this body. We need to move it somewhere else. It needs to go. So then a few months down, or whenever that happens, they go, right, okay, we're just gonna dump it in the water now, get rid of it, blah, blah, blah. And obviously, as they've dumped it into the water, they found the body really quickly.
Yeah, I just don't understand how the body was not decomposed. Like, it's been 4 months, like...
Yeah, but that's the thing. Was he then kept alive? Okay.
For 4 months.
Was he kept alive and then killed?
Possibly, but if he was kept alive, how would they have found that alcohol in his blood still? And it was a good, it's decent amount, but not enough to be paralytic.
I mean, okay,
did they get him drunk?
Yeah, well, it could be that. I mean, there's lots of different things that you could say. If they had been keeping him alive, what have they been feeding, drinking him?
Did they stick him in a freezer?
Did they stick him in a freezer? I don't. It's a possibility. So one of the biggest things and one of my biggest issues with this whole case is the autopsy. Okay, and the main reason for that is, why do we not have information? And maybe that information is out there, or maybe it just hasn't been released to us yet. But why do we not know when he was killed? Why do we not know whether he was killed 4 months ago? Or was it 2 days before the body was found? Was it a week before the body was found? Usually in these autopsies, they're able to give a rough estimate on the time of death.
It's true. You normally get more information than what we've been provided here.
Yeah.
That's why it's hard
it's
to figure it
driving me
out.
crazy because with that information, then all the theories sort of shift. They all start they make a lot more sense. You'll be able to narrow things down so much more.
Yep.
And the fact that we don't have a time of the death means that, did he die a week after he went missing?
Well, helping your point here is we have a little bit more information. The parents of Chris always said that he always had bruises, and he had them before Halloween as he's actively playing lacrosse, whatever.
Yeah,
so
by the way,
sport,
I was going to say lacrosse
physical
is serious,
sport,
bro.
you are going to have bruises, whatever. Anyway, when the police found the body, surprise, no bruises. So that kind of ties into the idea of, did they keep him alive? Because, the bruises would fade, if he was kept alive for a few more weeks, few months even.
Yeah. I don't know,
And if they said he had them just before Halloween,
It's annoying that we don't have that time of death.
Yeah.
I feel like this case would be make so much more sense. But we did our research and we can't find it. Maybe you guys can find it somewhere, but we can't find it. There is also another theory though that we have, which is all to do with the smiley face killer. Now this particular killer had a knack for, there were a lot of missing college students that were at college parties would then go missing, and then they would be found dead in water. And usually what would happen is there would be a smiley face somewhere around the crime
like a
scene.
drawing or like just like
a
left
stamp.
a sign.
It's like a stamp to say
Yeah.
this is from the smiley face killer, right? Now they said that there were 45 murders connected to the group since 1990.
So was it a group of
Smiley face killers? Who knows? Is it one person? I don't know. But most of the victims were males who were out drinking and then found in water. Now, they claim that there was no smiley face found. The mum...
So it couldn't have been them, or...
I mean, that was sort of like their thing. It was like a stamp there. So most people have ruled out the fact that this was one of these smiley face killer cases. And then the other big theory, right, is obviously the fact about this police officer, Mike Casey.
Regarding Mike Casey, we have a comment here on a YouTube video from Emmy L. It's a good theory, a little YouTube comment theory, and I'll read it out for you. My theory is that Chris found out that his girlfriend was cheating on him with the police officer. This explains why he just walked out and his girlfriend didn't follow him, and why no one saw him getting kicked out. Chris might have said something about telling the officer's wife, and that prompted the officer to kill him to take care of that. That also explains why the police force did such a bad job investigating this case. Maybe they were all looking out for their fellow officer. Them saying that they didn't want to ruin a family was definitely sketch.
I love this theory.
I like that.
I really like this theory.
Because it kind of does tie up a couple of loose ends.
Yeah, I mean, we are filling in the blanks quite a bit here, but definitely, look, it was clear the police did bugger all, mate.
Yeah.
They didn't do anything, really, in this case to help out. That really weird quote that they said about not wanting to break up a family, really bizarre, right? The fact that Ashley had already borrowed Mike's stuff for the costume. They were obviously had a relationship that went beyond being a co-worker.
Yeah.
Right? And you know, Ashley seems to be like a big part of this. Surely she has a bit more information, something. Why did your boyfriend leave?
Why didn't you go with him?
But the thing is, do you reckon that she doesn't want to say anything because it would look bad on her if, you know, she'd been cheating with this Mike guy,
Yeah.
and next thing you know, that your supposed boyfriend has died. Like, it makes you look pretty poor, doesn't it?
I mean, it already looks kind of bad enough for not going with him anyway. That is just like the natural thing that you do when your partner has to walk home at -6 degrees.
Yeah, and no jacket, no nothing. So, yeah, I mean, I like this. I like this theory. It's good. And there's just something really sus about the police force in this and Ashley as well.
We have another YouTube comment from Carly Smith. I just feel like the police officer is involved in this murder and the entire police force and maybe even the city government are covering it up. The girlfriend could also be involved by bringing him to that specific bar and making sure it happened. I don't know if that is what happened. Like, did she take him there for this to happen? Probably unlikely.
Yeah.
This all seems like it's, you know, they've gone for the night out and shit's just gone. It's gone crazy.
Gone west.
No one was expecting this to happen.
Yeah. Next up, we have another one here, and this is from Rosie Brace. She says, I feel like the police definitely had something to do with it, and the girlfriend too. The phrasing of splitting up a family is so suggestive. If he hadn't done anything and was presumed innocent, then there would be no reason to imply they would split up. Exactly.
We said that. We said that about the phrasing.
So that's this case, really, guys. Like I said, my biggest issue with this case is I want to be given the information on when he died. I think that would really help with so much of this case. It's a little bit annoying that we don't have that information, but it has opened up a whole world of different theories. 100%. So we'd love to hear what you guys have to say.
Thank you all for watching, and we will be back next Monday for another case.
Yeehaw!